Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another SearchLab webinar. And I'm excited today because we're going to be doing some live site audits. And for today, to help us with that, is SearchLab's own Chief Operating Officer, one of the most popular in-demand speakers in SEO, presents all over the world on subjects related to SEO. So, he's not just helping SearchLab, he's so much at giving to help just people in the industry at large. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't talk today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring Greg Gifford to the stage right now. Greg, welcome.
What is up, dude?
How are you?
I am excellent. I cannot complain.
All right. Well, we do have some submissions today to try to get through. But before we dive into that, give me an idea. You've audited a lot of sites. What do you anticipate are going to be some of the big problems we're going to unearth as we take a dive in?
Geez. Not to spoil things too much, but when all of you signed up to attend, you had the option to submit some URLs. And so we did look at those to kind of compile our list before the show. And there's some interesting stuff there. There's the whole thing with GM where they've required the split to put Chevy and Buick GMC on separate sites. So we're going to look at something there that's problematic. We've got an independent in there who, I'll be interested if potentially the people that submitted actually end up showing up and could give us some clarification. Because there's an independent dealer that submitted a site for us to look at, and I'm assuming it's their site, and they optimized the entire site for pre-owned, which is wrong because customers don't search for pre-owned, customers search for used. So I think it's going to be a lot of, I'm thinking now, I think we should have asked, hey, how are you handling SEO as they submitted it? Because my guess is that most of these people either aren't using SEO at all, or they're working with a vendor that they're wanting a little checkup to see how the vendor's going. Things probably won't look great. Also, I don't know if you saw, I just saw on LinkedIn, Shift Digital released their annual report of the state of the industry. And it's like engagement is down 20%, leads are down 25%. Basically, Shift Digital is going, our own program isn't working right now, guys. And anyone that knows me at all knows that I dog all over the whole OEM approved provider list. It is not in the benefit of anyone other than maybe the OEM, but I don't even think it benefits the OEM anymore. I think Shift Digital needs to die, and the OEMs need to let dealers just use whoever they want to use, because it doesn't make sense to use a website vendor because that's the only guy in program when that's a horrible website. I really wish we'd have had an Audi dealer submit their new platform for us to audit. Audi platform is so ridiculously awful, and we have seen leads drop off a cliff and visibility drop off a cliff, and it'd be really great to talk about that on a webinar and send that, surreptitiously to some DMs of some Audi people and be like, hey guys, maybe you should check this stuff out.
All right. Well, I love that this set up the preamble, and let's dive into it. I know we first have is Rusty Drewing Buick GMC.
All right. I'm going to share my screen here so everyone can see what I'm looking at. And I know we said we were doing website audits, but we always do need to check out what the GBP looks like. And the first problem is I searched for Buick GMC. Oh, wait. Anthony, I see you in the chat. Are you saying that this new site went live on Monday? Yeah, Anthony, is this your site that you submitted? I'm guessing yes. Yes. Okay, okay, good. I was just going to say you need the GBP. It just got approved Monday, so it's not showing up right now. For sure, we're going to need to get things fixed here too, because now that you have that one set, can you just give us a little answer in the chat? Are you doing SEO with the provider, or are you guys handling it yourself? Answer that as I keep talking. But for everyone else that's watching, because GM is making everything get split off, there's a lot of blocking and tackling that's going to need to happen. So Anthony, this is great for you since you handle things in-house. So now that you have the new GBP set up, here's what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to adjust the name on this one to remove the Buick GMC. You're also going to need to adjust the names on your parts department and on your service department. because those need to also only be Chevy for this. And then you're going to need to set up a new parts department and new service department for Buick and have that nested under Buick. So you've got Cadillac here under this. Really, Cadillac shouldn't be nested under Chevrolet. And yes, you do need, for everyone watching the recording later, he's answering in the chat and asking, do we need departments? Yes, you need departments. Here's why. If Google allows car dealers to do something that is against Google's rules, Google has a good reason to do it. And the requirements for eligibility to have a Google business profile are very specific. And dealerships should not be allowed to set up a separate Google business profile for service and a separate one for parts and have them nested as departments. The reason Google allows it is because you don't have to buy a car to do business at a dealership. You could only do service or only buy parts, and it doesn't really make sense to have it all on one. The other thing that's really confusing is the sales department is usually open till like 9 o'clock, but the service department probably closes at 6 or 7. So it's a confusing customer experience if you're looking up the dealership and you look at the hours. Now, once you have the departments set up like this, if I come in and look in hours, you now have the split where you can see, oh, I want to get in. Now, also, Anthony, correct naming conventions shouldn't be what you have now, where you have the name of the dealership and then the department. It should really just say Chevrolet Service, because it doesn't really need to have your brand. But if you want your brand on it, it should be Service Department dash Rusty Drewing Chevrolet Buick GMC. For the reason, one of the big reasons Google does this is so that people can see what the hours are. Once I get into the hours, I can't tell what's there because all I see is Rusty Drewing Chevrolet on everything. I can't see what the service department is, even if I drop this down. And these are different hours. How do I know if I'm looking at service or at sales or at what? So you want to adjust those names as well. So you want to get all of those set up. Let's check your categories too. So if I look at your categories here on the current store, whoops, this plugin's wonky lately. Oh, come on. Let me come back. I'm here. I want this. I want to go to this. I don't know why this plugin doesn't work anymore. All right, let me use the Plepper tools.
Greg, I can read them off to you. I have a different tool I have brought up. So the primary category is Chevy dealer. Then they have Buick dealer, car finance and loan company, car leasing service, GMC dealer, used car dealer, used truck dealer.
Okay, so perfect. You don't have any service department categories there. It's really important when you're looking at your categories here or looking at your department profiles here that your main profile is only sales related categories. Your parts profile should only be parts related categories. Your service profile should only be service related. So not only are you going to have to go in and update the name, you're also going to need to remove the Buick or GMC, whichever category he said you had, off of this. So this no longer has Buick or GMC dealer as categories. It's only Chevy dealer and then the generic used car and other stuff. So you got a whole lot of work to do with all of this stuff here. Let's check out. I just want to see what we're looking like on reviews. So it looks like you're answering reviews. Okay, here's a problem I'm seeing right off the bat. Okay, just a text review, no big deal. Then this one, the second review here says, great experience with their Evan Bach and his team. It is not human behavior to leave a review and mention the name, first and last name of anyone that you dealt with at a business. No one is going to know that. The only way someone is going to put first and last name there is if you tell them to do that. Google updated the rules around reviews a month ago. Okay, and Anthony just answered in the chat that they do ask people to do that. Anthony and everyone else watching, you need to be aware that these rules have updated, and according to Google's new rules, you are not allowed to tell them to put someone's name in the review. That is against the rules. You are not allowed to suggest anything to be included there. So what can happen, and what we have already seen to multiple dealerships, is it's very easy for Google to look at the pattern. So we see this review has first and last name. This review has Zach in it. Okay, not first and last name, but has a name. This one right here, Russell Lemons, 2 names. This one, no name. This one here, Zach is a thing. Like all of these have not all, but here's another one, Zach Kutcher. You know, we have too many here that mention a name. Like 80% of these reviews mention a name. That means Google's going to go, guess what? All those reviews are going to go away and you're going to lose those reviews. They're going to be gone and you're not going to be able to get them back. So for sure, right now, Anthony, you need to adjust your process, change it so that you are not asking people to include names, because that's against the rules with Google and you risk losing all of those reviews. So that's a huge thing. Let's check this out. Google Post, you need to treat Google Post like an ad. And while this is pretty much an ad, the problem is the image isn't great, because you've got some text here that if we click in, we see it says 0% APR. Now it says 0% APR right there, but it just looks bad to use an image that's a square image. This is formatted for social media, and Google Posts are not social media. And I see as I scroll through, everything that you're doing is square. That's the wrong dimension. You get those black bars on the side because you should be loading in a widescreen image or a widescreen video. So you want to make sure that you're doing the right stuff with your Google Posts so that they will work better and get you what you want to get. I also like to check these. Let's see how long it's been since you guys posted to Instagram. So the last Instagram, I'm not signed in on Instagram on this browser. Well, you don't want to link to social accounts that you're not active on. So there is that. Now let's go look at the website. Oh, not that site though. We're doing the Buick GMC, which is Rusty Drewing Buick GMC. I just need to get rid of the Chevrolet bit there. Okay, so this is the new site. I would never be on dealer.com no matter how much you pay me, even if I'm a Subaru dealer and dealer.com says I have to, or the OEM says I have to be on dealer.com. I would have the dealer.com site to satisfy the OEM and have another site to use for marketing, because dealer.com is by far the worst platform to be on for a car dealership, because it is not a responsive website platform. Now, they will tell you a bunch of BS marketing stuff to say they're responsive, adaptive, blah, 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 blah. But responsive means the website is one set of code that looks the same on both mobile and desktop. Dealer.com doesn't have the right kind of code. 2 years ago, Google rolled out an update, and during that update, the page experience update, they codified it into the algorithm that you get penalized if you're not on a responsive platform. So because you're on dealer.com, you're automatically penalized in search results and not showing up as well as you could. So that's a big problem. The other thing, we want to look on the home page. Title tag is the most important element. Your homepage title tag is Jefferson City Rusty Drewing Buick GMC. You should never put your dealership name, or for any other business, you should never put your business name at the first of your homepage title tag, because you're the only business name that. You're going to rank for that anyway, and you're wasting valuable optimization space for something you're already going to rank #1 for. And then for sure, no customer is going to search Jefferson City Rusty Drewing Buick GMC. So that's a bit off too. You also want to remember Google is pattern detection, and the AI models are pattern detection as well. So you want to have the same keyword phrase and same location phrase in each of the important page elements. So right now we're optimizing for the dealership name in the city, and then we have new and used Buick and GMC cars. I would never also say new and used Buick GMC cars. I would say new Buick, new GMC, and used cars, because that's the way that customers search. Customers would never say new and used Buick and GMC. And that's what you're optimizing for here. But then if we go look at the H1 heading, you don't actually have an H1 heading. Now, my tool is telling you you do, because dealer.com makes the dealership logo up here in the corner an H1 heading. But there's no H1 heading in the text here. So the second most important thing on the page, you don't even have. Dealer.com, I'm guessing you don't have alt text on this image. Let's see here if we drop the image down. Okay, there actually is alt text, so that's good. You're at least paying attention to that. You have a boatload of images here. Let's see how many you have. Oh, that's a lot. You have 11 images in your slideshow. No customer's gonna. The only reason we've made it through more than 3 is because I'm literally talking while the page is up. Honestly, you shouldn't have slideshows at all. If your OEM requires it, do the bare minimum number of slides. But putting information here, all it does is slow your site down, because you have to load those images in. Customers are never going to see it. As we scroll through, you've got some text here. So like, that's okay. I'm curious how good this text is. Right here, you say you're near Columbia. Customers don't search for a business near a city. They search for a business in a city. And because at the top, we said Jefferson City, and you're in Jefferson City, you need to optimize the page for Jefferson City, not for Columbia. So if you want to optimize for Columbia instead of Jefferson City, then the whole page should be optimized for Columbia instead. But here's a cool little trick for everyone to see if you have duplicate content. So let's actually, I don't even have to do that. I can tell by looking at this that this is at least unique content here. So that's great. So next big problem, your used car inventory is labeled pre-owned inventory. Mercedes is the only brand that requires you to say pre-owned. You should never call it pre-owned. Dealers say that because it sounds nicer than used cars. But the problem is you might rank #1 for pre-owned inventory in your market, and it's going to bring you no business because customers don't search for pre-owned inventory. They search for used cars. So you should have new inventory and used inventory, or just new and used. And then when I go to that page.
And Greg, for the set, once you, I gotta hate to interrupt you. Got to rein you in a little bit. Once you kind of do this, we got to move on to another site. So make sure for timing, we get to some other folks.
Sorry, I'm trying to help Anthony out here. But see, Anthony, your button is labeled pre-owned, but you get to the page, your title tag has used cars in Jefferson City. And then here we have pre-owned vehicles in Jefferson City. So you're not even matching between your title tag and your H1 heading. So yeah, lots of stuff that needs to be done here. You do have a blog on the site, but there's nothing on there. I would right now turn blog off. You shouldn't link to it if there's nothing there. That looks bad to customers and to Google. Just don't add it in until you've got at least 3 or 4 posts there. Don't use ChatGPT to write your blog post, please. Okay, there we go. Sorry, that's all I could fit in. Hopefully, Anthony, that was helpful. What's our next victim?
Milwaukee, SubaruCity.com.
Which I don't even have to look and know that it's going to be a dealer.com site because it is a Subaru dealer. That doesn't look like dealer.com though, but let's hang on. Let me look at. Schlossman Subaru City. Okay, so we're matching the business name across, so that good. Wait, is this, do we call it? It looks like on the site, we are calling it Schlossman, I cannot say that, Schlossman Subaru City. And yes, right here, it is Schlossman Subaru City as the name. I would guess if we go to About, now we say Subaru City of Milwaukee. So you're not consistent. Whoever submitted this site, make sure you're consistent with the name of your dealership across everywhere, both on your site and off your site. Because according to the homepage, you are Schlossman Subaru City, and your logo is Schlossman Subaru City. And the whole homepage says Schlossman Subaru City. But here, you are Schlossman Subaru City of Milwaukee. That's not consistent, so make it consistent. You got parts and service, so that is good. Check your images here because these aren't great. But like this one, stop by us for a great selection of new cars. That's not an ad. Like, people know you have cars. That's not a post that's going to help. This post, if you're searching for a used car, let's see. If you're searching for a used car in Milwaukee, make us your next stop. Like, that's not going to help either. Like, all of these, whoever submitted this, if you're here, it would be wonderful if you could jump in the chat and let us know if you are using a vendor or if you're doing it yourself. But lab, these Google posts are not great. Let's look here. Okay, big problem right off the bat. We have a March Madness pop-up right here. Again, the page experience update from 2 years ago that Google rolled out, you are actively demoted in search results. You are penalized for having automatic pop-ups. Think about what happens when you shop online. If you go to a page and there's a pop-up, you don't read it, you close it because it's annoying. I've just landed on this page. What does this site exist for? This site exists to get me to convert as a customer. And your conversion elements behind this pop-up are now hidden because of the pop-up. And the pop-up is just March Madness selling to zero, drive home. It's only for a Forester, right? Like, this doesn't help me. Lock in my Forester. You guys sell a lot of other cars and you do parts and service. This is a very narrow offer for the audience that lands on your site. So it's not even a good pop-up in the first place or even a good message in the first place. For sure, get rid of that because that's going to hurt you.
Yep, Greg, we have a comment from Jessica who submitted the site, and she tried to tell the sales team about this, but they still seem to really have wanted it.
Oh, hi, Jessica. I know you. Yeah, Jessica, for sure. Show them this webinar because there'll be a recording of it, and show them that I said, look, guys, we're causing ourselves a Google penalty. If you want that same, I don't know if it's going to show up again. Okay. Also, code is really bad because I was just on this site and I refreshed it and the pop-up comes back. It shouldn't come back because I've already closed it. If this is an important message that you want to have, put that message in the slider right there as the first image in the slider instead of as a pop-up, because even if I am looking for a Forester, I'm closing that because I just landed on your site. It doesn't make sense to do it that way. So I would for sure fix that. Looking through the rest of the home page here, you've got your dealership name first in your title tag. Like I just mentioned on the last one, don't do that. Jessica, can you also chime in and let me know how you guys handle SEO, whether it's in-house or a vendor? Just that helps me give you better advice. Really right here with the title tag, it would be better to just flip the two and have new and used car dealership. But I would say not new and used car dealership. I would say new Subaru dealer and used car dealer, because your vendor is not paying much attention. Everyone, she just answered that she's working with the vendor. Any vendor that's worth their money in SEO would know, don't ever put the dealership name or any business name first in the title tag on the homepage, because there literally is no other entity on this planet called Schlossman Subaru City. So why are we optimizing for something we're already going to rank number one for? That's like spending a bunch of money on paid search on your dealership name when none of your competitors are advertising on your name. You're just buying traffic you would have gotten for free. So then right now, really we're optimizing for the name of the dealership, but then we have new and used car dealership, which is very generic. Hopefully we should see some of that in the H1 heading, and the H1 heading is just the name of the dealership. So again, we're spending all of our effort on the most important page of the website, optimizing for the name of the dealership, which you're already going to rank for. In Milwaukee, let's try this. Milwaukee Subaru dealer. Look at this. There's not even another competing Subaru dealer in Milwaukee, because when I search Milwaukee Subaru dealer, it should look like this, where I go Dallas Ford dealer, and it's going to give me a map pack that shows me all the Ford dealers, because there's lots of Ford dealers. In Milwaukee, you're the only Subaru dealer, which means you don't even need to optimize for Subaru in your market, because you're the only thing that Google can possibly show for new cars for Subaru.
And Greg, a quick question: what does that mean then for her GBP? Does it have to be Subaru, or is there an alternative, or is that still just the best practice no matter what?
This would be a conversation that, again, their vendor clearly isn't paying attention. They should have this conversation with their vendor, because if we were working with a dealer like this, we would come in and we would look at how close the next closest Subaru dealer is. There might be a Subaru dealer 25 minutes away in another city that is close enough that they do still need to optimize for Subaru here. But if this is a situation that like the next closest Subaru dealer is like an hour and a half drive away, I would not have Subaru dealer as the primary category. I would have used car dealer as the primary category, again, because they're automatically going to show up for Subaru no matter what they put. And your primary category has so much influence on how you show for search, especially within the map pack. It is the most influential thing for the map pack. You should put used car dealer, because that's what you're competing against all of the other new car brands and all of the independents.
Thank you for that clarification. I'm sure that everyone will find that helpful.
Same thing here, not great posts. I would assume that your vendor is doing your posts and just already not great. We already mentioned that. But okay, back here to the site. Let's come down, and there's just not a whole lot of content. Okay, right here, look at all those blue links that pop out. That is not helpful, and it is not good for SEO. Everybody knows you sell all these cars, right? Here's the worst part. Look at this. We proudly serve surrounding communities like Muskego, West Allis, Greenville. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cities. If I walked into your dealership and one of your sales team greeted me and said, hey, welcome to our dealership. Did you know that we sell cars to people in Muskego, West Allis, Greenville, Wasada, West Milwaukee, Shorewood, Cudahy, Racine, Kenosha, and Waukesha, and Oak Creek? You'd fire me as a salesperson, because that guy's already in the dealership. He doesn't care. Someone that's already on your homepage doesn't care that you sell cars. And I'm going to guess most of these are garbage doorway pages that your vendor is giving you, telling this is going to help you rank in this city. And look, it's just an inventory page with no content on it. So it's not even going to rank anyway. And like I mentioned earlier, people don't search for a dealership near a city. But let's try this. Let's go Subaru dealer. How do you spell that? Muskego. It's weird that it pulled an AI overview on that. Okay, so now we see this, and we see, like, I don't even know where is Muskego. Is that like a suburb of Milwaukee? I'm guessing it is. Okay, so like southwest edge of Milwaukee, but still the Milwaukee market. Maybe, and this is where your vendor or you would know, do people in Muskego actually search for dealerships in Muskego, or do they just use the colloquial Milwaukee thing to search for, right? But if we're looking at this Subaru dealer Muskego, you show up in the map pack, has nothing to do with your content, and you show up here, but look at the page that I land on. I land on your homepage. Again, because of the proximity factor, that garbage inventory page doesn't show until way lower on the page. So not great. And then all of these pages, like it's the same thing. There's no content there unless there's maybe content way at the bottom of the page. Jeez, this is like infinite scroll. So maybe there's content. Good Lord. Turn off infinite scroll on your website. That is not good. It is super bad to have infinite scroll on your inventory pages. Again, your SEO vendor should know this, and they should be telling you this. Let's go back. Let's check out. Okay, here's what I was going to do earlier to check for duplicate content. You want to copy some content that doesn't include the name of your store or your city. So let's just take that sentence there. I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to search Google inside of double quotes for that sentence. We only want to see one result. So we see one result on the page. So cool. We know that that is unique content. So that's a good thing. Then let's look at, you've got new and used. So if we go to used.
And Greg, real quick too, on those serving pages, the contents on some of these are exactly the same word for word, except they exchanged what city is near Schlossman.
There might be content way at the bottom of the page. I just didn't, could be unique. I just didn't want to scroll through 270 views to see that.
I did scroll through all 451, and there are several of the serving city pages that have word for word the same text after the.
Yeah, so they're just duplicating pages, which is actually going to hurt you from an SEO standpoint. So again, your vendor sucks. Okay, I got a weird thing there. If I click this, let me get away. I am here. Okay, I'm on this. I click all used vehicles. Notice I'm getting a 301. Your menu button, and again, this is something your SEO team should for sure have caught. Google looks at how you link to things in your menu as a guide to what you want customers to do on their website and what you think your most important pages are. So you want to make sure you link to the important things there, right? You're linking to used cars, which is important, but notice, and I can't zoom in on this, so everybody watch the bottom left corner. When you roll over, it will show you what the URL is that you're linking to. So right here, your used car inventory button, that is your primary used car button on your website, points to /searchused.aspx. But you actually changed the URL for that, because why did it not do it this time? Go back to the homepage. Now go use vehicles. Now I get a 301 because it went, you have a 301 redirect that someone put in place. I think this is a dealer on site. So it may be dealer on, but your used car page has a 301 redirect to point to your new car page that then resolves to new inventory, because there's a redirect from search new to just new dash inventory, which then redirects back to search used. That can't be a dealer on thing, because I have lots of other dealer on clients and it doesn't do this. So there is something weird here that dealer on, or your SEO vendor, maybe that's dealer on as your SEO vendor, get that fixed, because you should just be linking directly to search used, which you are, but somewhere like your original URL is where you end up, but somewhere somebody added in a redirect from used to new. That is not a dealer on default thing. That's somebody screwed up somewhere. So that's bad. Used cars.
And Greg, we want to wrap up here in just a few moments, because we want to move on. Lots of people submitted their stuff.
They have a blog. Let's look at their blog. Best all-season tires for Subaru Crosstrack, Outback, and Forest. Crosstrack, Outback, Forester. Already bad. as a topic because people don't look for best tires for 3 different cars. They look best tires for 1 car. So you should break that into 3 blog posts. Let's see how long these even are. Hopefully they're not just a few hundred words. That's really not that much content, right? For all of that. In fact, let's see how much content that is. I know. I'm going to hurry. Sorry, dude.
You're fine. Just trying to be cognizant of folks who joined us today.
Put this into Word. Yeah, we're halfway through. I've only done 2. I need to go faster. So then I drop this into Word, paste it in, and you have 621 words of content on the page. That is not great. And most of that content isn't even complete sentences because this is mostly bullet points. So this is not good content for humans or for Google or for AI models. So not great.
And for me, there's even other content like Subaru oil change and maintenance schedule. That's been written ad nauseum, right? Let's not add to the sameness of something that's already been answered 1,000 times.
Right. And like how to protect your Subaru from salt and rust in winter. Okay, like that's kind of important. And if you're also sharing this on social media, then that's worthwhile. But you're never going to rank for how to protect your Subaru from salt and rust in winter because there's a million people that have written that content. Yeah, and you have nothing about the local area. This is all very bottom of funnel content. So that's not really going to help. Hopefully, Jessica, that was helpful. I got to move on though.
Sorry, guys. And we're going to move on to BaysideAutos.com.
Oh, this is the independent we looked at earlier. All right. Bayside Autos. Where is this? This is in Hollywood.
As we set this up, anyone, if you have questions, if you need Greg to slow down or back up on something, please, in the chat, in the Q&A, pop them in. We'll make sure that we address them. And Ann Stott says this is part of an 8 rooftop group.
Ann, are these all independents or this is one independent location in a group that also has franchise? That would be helpful to know. Also, Ann, you're on dealer.com. Get off of dealer.com. It's a garbage platform as an independent. Okay, you're maybe on dealer.com because maybe you've got a Subaru and everybody wants to be on the same platform. But for independents, for sure, do not be on dealer.com. There's way too much competition out there for used because you're not just fighting against other franchise. You're fighting against every franchise dealer, every independent dealer, and every buy here, pay here dealer. She's asking for platform suggestion. All of our research and all of lots of other people's research shows that Dealer Inspire is the best from a purely technical standpoint. There will be a lot of other upstarts that are like, our sites are faster. Okay, your sites are faster, but everything else is garbage in your code. If we are looking at just the base code out of the box and what is the best for visibility in both Google and AI search, zero question, the best answer is Dealer Inspire. If you don't want Dealer Inspire, next best option, Dealer On. Beyond that, next best option, Dealer eProcess. Beyond that, just don't be on dealer.com.
She says about Team Velocity because they had a bad experience, it seems, with Dealer Inspire.
We contracted with them and never saw one email or a site for a year. That's bad. Okay, yeah, so that's bad. Team Velocity, also not good. There is a lot of really garbage code on their sites and a lot of things that you just can't optimize. Definitely don't go to Team Velocity. Yeah, not great. But anyway, okay, so looking here, already way too busy with your logo has a lot in it. And then you've got Bayside Spring Savings Event. That's all Easter, and that's great. But like right at the beginning, as soon as I land on the site, it is so busy. It's almost like Ling's Cars. Does everybody know what Ling's Cars is? I try to bring this up anytime I can because it's... Oh, they changed their site. It used to be like super crazy with like all kinds of flashing stuff like MySpace in the worst days ever. But whatever. Okay, so... Gentle Giant dog food. Let's try that really quickly. Where's the website for that, though? There we go. Oh, yeah, like this. Like, that's just so busy and so much, like, just too much, like, very early 90s. Anyway, okay, so here, dealer.com, super bad. Second thing, you're an independent. So right off the bat, we look at the title tag, and you have Bayside Pre-Owned Hollywood. That is a phrase no one is going to search. Bayside is the name of your group or this location on its own. But you say pre-owned Hollywood. No customer, no human in the world is ever going to search Bayside pre-owned Hollywood. They may search Bayside. They may search Bayside Hollywood. They may search used cars Hollywood, but they're never going to search pre-owned. Right. Okay. So she just said, hey, that's the business name. Okay. Let's check that. According to Google, the name is Bayside Pre-Owned Supercenter Hollywood, and pre is pre-owned. Over here, you have pre-owned, so that's good. But you are Bayside Pre-Owned Supercenter. Here, you are Bayside Pre-Owned Supercenter Hollywood. Here, in your title tag, you are Bayside Pre-Owned Hollywood. You're not consistent with your name, so make sure that it is. And you're using a vendor. Your vendor should have caught this, right? Oh no, that was Jessica. Anne, are you using a vendor? Are you guys handling it in-house? No vendor. Okay, you're doing it in-house. Never put your dealership name first. Always put it at the end. You have used car dealership near me. Okay, you can't optimize a site for near me. Whenever a customer searches for something near me on something like this, they are explicitly telling Google they want the 3 closest options to their location. They are looking at a location-based service. You're not going to show up just because you have near me on the page. So you're optimizing incorrectly because you're trying to optimize for something that the only reason you're going to show up is because you happen to be one of the 3 closest dealerships to a person looking for a dealership. So if someone's looking for a used car dealership near me, the only way you're going to rank is if you're one of the 3 closest to them. So don't waste time trying to optimize for that. This is not a great meta description either. The meta description is what populates the gray clickable text like this. And notice Google changed it because your meta description is Bayside Pre-Owned Supercenter Hollywood in Hollywood sells used Kias, used Nissan, used Toyotas, used. That's not going to help you rank for any of those things, and that's not helpful for a customer. Notice Google just changed it. Google's like, that's horrible. That's not helpful, so they've changed it. Usually your meta description is going to be those couple of gray sentences there. So that
right, and you want it to be like a compelling reason to click through, right? You don't
you want
to pack in everything.
You want something compelling so that when people are seeing you in search results, they're going to click through to see what's there. But then, okay, so looking at this, title tag bad, H1 heading. We'll skip this first one here because that's not a real H1 heading. That's just what they put on the logo. So your actual H1 heading is our happy customers, which doesn't match optimization. So the pattern is off. Honestly, if you guys are a 6-store group, you really should be, or you're 8-store because it's 6 franchise, 2 independent. You guys should be working with an SEO vendor, or you should have a full-time SEO employee that they only do SEO because you're lacking a lot here. You've got a bunch of featured vehicles. I would not have this much space. Look how much space we're wasting. Before I get to any content about why this is a dealership I should buy from, we got a bunch of crap here about customers, and they're all 5-star reviews. So what's everybody going to do? They're going to scroll right by. They're not going to read it, and they're not going to care about your image gallery of happy customers. Also, by the way, Anne, if you guys are doing this by some sort of a widget that loads things in, you make sure that widget is set to show every single review you have, because you're not allowed, both by Google's rules and more importantly by FTC law, you can't display reviews on your site unless you show all your reviews. Now, if these are hard-coded, you're kind of okay, but be careful with that. That can get you into some problems. Then we have this get in touch before I still have any content, which is not good. Then way down at the bottom, I've got a little bit of stuff here, and there's not even 300 words of content. So you need a lot more content on your homepage. Let's just try this sentence. Hopefully we only see one. Yep, here's the problem. I did that sentence, and there are 22,900 websites that have that exact same sentence on it. And for me, the #1 ranking is Premier Autos of Dallas, but all of these have the same content. Let's just click over to this guy, who's also going to be on dealer.com, and we can scroll down, and if I do a find for this content, we can see where that is. I don't know why it's not highlighting on the page there. Maybe I'm not. Oh, there we go. There's the content right there. So you've got duplicate content problems. That's definitely not going to help you. Inventory. You've got pre-owned here. This should be used inventory or used car inventory. When I click to pre-owned, this page is optimized for buy online, delivered to your door. No one's searching for that. So you're optimizing for, you don't even have this page title tag optimized around even pre-owned or used cars. But then you've got pre-owned inventory here, which again should be used cars. I would guess there's no content on this page. There's a little bit there, but that's not anything that's going to help you. That's basically a disclaimer. We don't have about us or contact us in the primary menu. That's another thing. Google puts out a thing called a quality rater guidelines every year. Google has humans called quality raters, and their job is to do a bunch of searches, check what shows up in the search results against the quality rater guidelines, and then give Google manual feedback to say, hey, this site ranks number 1, but it doesn't deserve to for reasons A, B, and C. One of the things in the quality rater guidelines is that every website should have about us and contact us in the primary menu. You don't have either. So that's problematic as well. And we don't even have, okay, we do have a drop down here. So you do have about our dealership and you do have contact somewhere here, but it's difficult to find. But if I go to about us, this is okay, except for about Bayside Pre-Owned Supercenter Hollywood, new dealership in Hollywood. You don't need a zip code up there. You're also not a new car dealership, you're a used car dealership. But then your H1 heading is just the word about, which is the worst thing that you can possibly have. And this is the page that is really important. This is how you're going to tell people come to us and not the competition. And we don't even have a picture on the page at all. Also in the quality rater guidelines, every page should have at least one image on it. So that's not great. Let's check out your blog because you did have a blog and you're not using a vendor. Yeah, these are not great. So best used cars under 20K for SOMD. I don't even know what SOMD, maybe that's Southern MD. Maybe SOMD is a thing locally, so that's okay. But like this entire post here, oh, maybe there's more. And just asked if blogs are beneficial. They're incredibly beneficial, and it's not a now, it's they always have been, and they're more important now than ever because of AI. You got to have really good blogs because everything on the website outside of the blog is bottom of funnel content. It's meant to show up and get people to convert, but people do a lot of research before they're ready to convert. And you want eyeballs on your brand as early as possible in that research process, which means you need to be writing content for those mid to upper funnel customers. The people that are like, hey, my kid's about to be 16. What's the best car to buy for under $20,000 for a 16-year-old? Or things like that. Or I'm newly divorced and my wife took the SUV and now I have 3 teenagers that all play hockey and I need an SUV that's got third row seating, but enough room in the back to haul hockey equipment. What can I do? Yeah. The AI is not going to know how to summarize that unless there's content out there. And Google's not going to show you as a search result if somebody asks that question unless you have that content on your site. So
oh, good.
You got to think more mid to upper funnel content. And like this piece of content right here, best used cars under 20,000. And then this, the search query really we're targeting here is used cars under 20,000. You don't need a blog post for that. You need to have a filtered inventory set here. So when I go to inventory, you have vehicles under 20,000 and then you've got a little bit of content on that page, but a blog post isn't going to help you here. So then we list out some cars, but then we've got RAV4 and there's no link to RAV4. You have Chevy Equinox. There's no link to that. Chrysler Pacifica, no link to that. So even if this did happen to show up, there's nowhere for me to go and convert.
Yeah, think of the blog as not waiting for them to demonstrate a purchase intent. You're trying to build your brand, get in front of them, and influence them on their path to purchase so they think of you when they're ready to make that purchase.
And like, why buying certified pre-owned makes sense for Southern Maryland drivers. No one looks for Southern Maryland to anything. People are going to look for a specific town. And why buying certified pre-owned makes sense. It's not any different in Southern Maryland than it is anywhere else in the country. So you don't need Southern Maryland.
And Greg, we'll want to try to wrap up. We're coming up about 15 minutes out from the end of the webinar.
Another thing and to look at, these blog posts here are left aligned, but also look, the first one, that font size is that. The second one, your font size is smaller. The third one, for some reason, all of your content is centered and you've got a bunch of bold that doesn't make sense. So like there's a lot of really wonky stuff going on here. And then it switches back to left aligned. And then now this one's center aligned and all bold. Like Google's going to have a lot of problems with this again. And I would strongly encourage you to just go engage with an SEO vendor that's going to help you. There's a whole lot of opportunity here to improve things. And I would guess probably the rest of your sites are in about the same shape. Hopefully that was helpful. Next site.
All right. The next site we're going to bring up is surviveamidlifecrisis.com. Our first non-auto.
All right, survivemidlifecrisis.com. This is understanding your spouse's midlife crisis. #1 midlife crisis solution. What are we selling here? A free class. What are we trying? We're trying to sell a free class. If whoever submitted this is here and could let me know what this site exists to do, that would be beneficial to know. It looks like Larry is a like couples therapist or couples counselor, and maybe the free class is there to try to get more people to know about Larry and use Larry's services. Larry at youcansavethis.marriage.com. I like that email address. But here's something problematic. I'm on the site and I click free class and I lose all of the navigation. This is like a paid search landing page that is meant to get me to convert because there's nowhere else for me to go. But what if I screwed up and I'm like, wait, I can only go back. So I would never hide your menu on any page of the site. But right off the bat, it's watch the free class now. If I click that, it just takes me down to the free class. If the first thing I see on the page is watch the free class now, and watching the class is the important bit, why do we have this where we click it and it just auto scrolls down and has the video? You should have the video up top, front, and center. If that's the call to action, that's what you want people to do, put the video up there. Don't make people scroll through. And then we've got a lot of text on the page. Also, again, weird here that we're switching from left aligned to center aligned. We've got free class again right there. Before you do anything else, watch this class. And we watch the class, and I'm wondering what else this site is designed to do other than to get people to watch a free video. And maybe that gives him a lead if they fill out the info. Like, why do I then have to put information in to watch the class if I can just watch? We got a 2-minute class here, and what happens at the end of the video? We don't even get a call to action. Oh, get instant access to the full version of this free class below. But below where? Maybe that means go right here to start the full free class, but this is very confusing from a user standpoint. So I would work with an SEO vendor or a content vendor to help you clean up this and make more sense. Cause like, I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to be doing here. And you want everyone to watch the free class. But when I click watch the free class, it goes to the video that's only 2 minutes long. So this isn't even really the free class. What you really want people to do, I'm thinking, is to fill out the form. So now you have a lead. And once they fill this out, let's try it with Joe Smith and joe.smith@gmail.com. Hopefully that's not really a person. And if I click start the class, you're getting a fake lead from me. I'm sorry, but already as a customer, I'm bummed out because it took a long time. But now I go again to a page with no navigation and I can only watch this video. And if I found this class helpful, which is now a 37-minute class, and what's our call to action at the end? But at the end of the video, we're saying that our call to action at the end of the video is to go to the website that we're already on. That might make sense if the video is on another site or on YouTube or something. But if we're seeing this video on your own site, why is it telling me the call to action is to go to the site? Because it's saying unravel the chaos, see the common mistakes. I don't see any of that on the website. And then we have all of this stuff. And then for a one-time payment, I can download this stuff. So maybe the actual real thing we want to do on the site is get people to pay $87 to download the guide or the materials. Why isn't that on the homepage? Like, this seems very convoluted. And it says down here, we serve clients globally. So there's not really anything on here that lets me know that this is a online course. If I click husband and midlife crisis, maybe that's odd that the menu totally changes here. So we have a different menu, but then the course is this. Yeah, this is just not great from a content standpoint. Like, it's really confusing. Like, I would think people are really going to struggle to figure out how to get through this site and what you actually want them to do. I think you could get a lot more leads and sell a lot more of those course materials if you just made it clear and said, hey, look, I've got this course. Like, even here on this page, I already know there's a course I can buy for like $90, and that looks like the same graphic about it, but I don't. Okay, there we go. Way down on the page, after I've hopefully scrolled through and read all of this stuff, which is not even paragraphs, but like a line, a line, a line, a line. And then I get down and here's this, hey, 30-day money back guarantee. What happens if I click this? Now it takes me to a different site to fill it out, when that's also another barrier to entry. Why don't you just embed the payment gateway on your own site? So if I want the proven path, I can just sign up for it on your site. I don't have to go to a different site. You know, right here, you're talking about, here's what's included. You're telling them, yes, I want the proven path. Pay me my $100 before you even tell them what's involved and what they get for the $100. Lots of room for improvement here.
Completely a misalignment there. Greg, if there's one more thing you want to look at on this site, otherwise we should move on to at least one last one.
Yeah, let's try to get one more in. We got 5 more minutes. We'll go lightning round.
All right, we're going to do Old Bay Pest Control.
Let's see where these guys are. These are in Annapolis. So let's see if Old Bay Pest. Can't type pest control. Maybe shows up and I don't have to say Annapolis. I don't see a GBP because I'm too far away. So let's try Old Bay Pest Control, Annapolis, and you have 2 different profiles. So that is very problematic. Whoever submitted this one, if you're here, it would be great if you could let us know in the chat whether you're using a vendor or not. But for everyone watching, this is really problematic because these are both set. They're showing up right in the middle of North America there. So if I come and zoom in, that's my location of where I am. These don't have an address because they are service area profiles, which they should be as pest control. But if I click this one, this is Anne Arundel County and nearby areas. This one is Annapolis and nearby areas. So it would be great if this person could chime in and let us know they just have 2 different profiles for 2 different areas. I can't see where these are. Maybe I could if I scroll back up here. Maybe I'll see an outline. Yeah, we're not seeing. Oh, nope, there we go. There is the outline. So see, we can see the outline of what their service area is. So this one is that one. This one is that one. Okay, look on the red dots here in the middle where we're showing up the differences. The red dots, that red dot is the actual location of the business, but the service area is listed. And then we have this one. So really your locations aren't too far apart and your locations overlap, which means you're cannibalizing your own search traffic. That is not ideal. We are set up as a service area business, so that is great. Again, problems with posts because we're cropping off the text here. This one, your termites post, a big bunch of text, but the text, I can't even see the first part that says struggling with termites. You see on the right, all we see is professional termite removal, which isn't horrible. It still cuts off the top edge, but the image at the bottom says call now for assistance, but you don't have the call now button. You literally have no call to action there. So that's not ideal either. I would guess there's no vendor helping here because of that, but let's go look at the site really quick to finish up. Since we're not automotive, I'm guessing this is WordPress, and it is. So we're on a WordPress site. That's great. So right off the bat, if we click contact, we do not see any location information whatsoever. It just says Annapolis and surrounding areas. So we don't have an address to lock off of. But if we're looking back on the homepage is optimized for Annapolis, Maryland Pest Control Company. That's not horrible. And then exterminators and rodent control. I would make sure you've got your city name in with each one because pest control, and I don't think you really need Maryland. Like you could say Annapolis Pest Control Company or Pest Control Annapolis. You don't really need the company bit, but you'd be better off with Annapolis Pest Control Annapolis exterminators, Annapolis rodent control, but we've got pest control, exterminator, and rodent control, which is too much for one title tag. Your H1 heading. Why is home an H1? That's bad that home is an H1, but then we have this yellow text, the leading pest control company in Annapolis, Maryland, and surrounding areas. So we're not matching title tag to meta or title tag to H1 heading. And then we've got the best of 2025 Annapolis, best of Eastern Shores. Okay, that's cool. Like nothing wrong there. Safe, effective pest control in Annapolis and throughout. Okay, you need to be consistent with your capitalization because you have safe, effective pest control capitalized, but throughout is not capitalized and should be in this case if you're going to do camel casing. Let's check this for duplicate content.
And after that, we're going to do one last one. It's going to be real lightning quick. We might go just 1 or 2 minutes over, but I want to fit in one last one, Greg.
Okay. This is not entirely safe from duplication because we see this omitted search results at the bottom. So we now see that this is on 6 different pages, but it looks like all pages that Old Bay controls. So just make sure you're not putting the same information out on other sites. But right off the bat, biggest problem I see is you don't have a sticky menu. Once I scroll, your header stays up there, but I lose your menu. So if I'm this far down on the page and there's no link, I have to go back over and scroll back up. It'd be super easy to have your menu also locked in so that your menu is persistent across every page. Definitely fix that. I don't see a blog anywhere here, and I think a blog would be incredibly important. When I click to reviews, all your reviews are 5-star reviews, so nobody's going to go there. That's not useful. Pest control services, general pests, moles and voles, rodents. Let's go to rodents. I am very familiar with this because I'm dealing with a rodent problem at my house. And this page, oh, that's odd. You got a problem with your site. We got a unavailable, and then it resolved, so that's not great. We have Annapolis MD. Again, drop the MD, but Annapolis rodent control, mouse exterminators, rat control. Those are 2 very different problems. People know they have mice, or they know they have rodents, or they know they have or they know they have mice, they know they have rats, or they know they have rodents. So you need a rodent page, a mouse page, and a rat page, not one for all of the above. And then you just have a photo of, yeah, there's not enough content here either. You need a lot more better content.
All right, Greg,
last one, lightning round.
We're technically 1 minute away from the end of the webinar. Everyone, if you have time to stick around for just a few extra minutes. And Greg, it is KiaNorthAustin.com.
And everybody else, I'm sorry if we didn't get to you.
Yeah, sorry we didn't get to. There will be more of these in the future. Also, you can reach out to us. We can do an audit like this for you personally off of a webinar. If you were too shy to submit, or if you submitted, we didn't get to you, please reach out. You can reach out to me, Dane.Saville, DANE.SAVILLE at SearchLabDigital.com. You can also just go to the website, SearchLabDigital.com, reach out through the contact form. I'm going to be quiet to let Greg do this last lightning round.
Already, dealer.com site, not great. As a Kia dealer, you definitely don't have to be on dealer.com, and you should not be on dealer.com. Homepage title tag, new and used Kia dealer, North Austin. People actually do search North Austin, so that's not horrible, but I wouldn't do new and used Kia dealer. I would do Kia dealer, North Austin, used car dealer, Austin, and then you also then have Kia of North Austin. You already have Kia dealer, North Austin. You don't need to then have your dealership name when you're just being redundant. But then if we look at headings, the only heading we have is the Kia of North Austin in your logo, which doesn't count. So you don't have an H1 heading. Then, that's actually really great that you don't have a slideshow. So kudos to you for that. That's a really cool looking building as well. So as a landing page, this is great. Other than you have the automatic pop-up, I would get rid of your pop-up there. Then we have this. Dealer.com probably doesn't have alt text on this image, and it doesn't. You can see right here, it just has alt with nothing. You're actually breaking federal law by not having alt text on an embedded image. You can be sued by someone with a visual impairment. Plus, it's bad for SEO. But then we have a slider here, which it looks like may have a ton of, not that. Sorry, inspect. Looks like we may have a ton of images in the slideshow. Yeah, we got 13 images in the slideshow. Again, nobody's going to sit through 13 images. And we've got some stuff. Then we've got a little bit of text. Probably maybe enough text, but very redundant here. I mean, read this. Kia of North Austin is your source for new and pre-owned Kia vehicles in North Austin. That's so redundant. And why is your capitalized, but nothing else is? And you shouldn't ever say pre-owned. And this is not great. Like bad text. It almost looks like it's AI written text.
As Greg takes a look at this, everyone, I'm actually going to bring a QR code up after this last Nightling round to make it easy on you. You can scan the QR code that takes you right to where you need to go to request an audit like this and a strategy call with SearchLab.
Okay, whoever submitted the Kia of North Austin, by the way, you are either just using default content from dealer.com or you're using an SEO vendor that's using duplicate content. Because like this is literally the first text on the page that we get to. The very first sentence, I didn't highlight your name because that would make it unique. But if we look at the rest, I did the rest of the first sentence and the beginning of the second sentence, and that's on 186 other Kia dealer websites. So you're getting duplicate content either from your website vendor or hopefully not your SEO vendor because you'd be paying to get duplicate content, which isn't great. You've got pre-owned here, which isn't great. I've mentioned this multiple times. This should be used cars. And up here, you have pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs for sale in North Austin. No one searches for all three. They're going to look for used cars in Austin, used trucks in Austin, or used SUVs in Austin. In this case, I mean, your address is actually Austin, Texas. So let's look at this. While people do search North Austin, I would think you'd be better off just going for Austin in general. Yeah, you're not far enough north to really be North Austin. You're a couple of miles from downtown. If I do Kia dealer Austin, hopefully we see you there. We've got Kia of South Austin, Kia of North Austin there. Kia of South Austin is beating you. Kia of North Austin is there. Like, maybe there's an argument to be made for going for North Austin, but I'd get rid of North and just go for all of Austin because you're probably more likely to get some stuff. Oh, this is a good one. We got a bunch of garbage content at the bottom. Okay, now I don't need to know. I know you're working with the vendor because a dealer wouldn't do this on their own. This is a lot of content for the bottom of an SRP. And why are we linking to... Why is this page linking to a page that says a dealership serving Central Austin? That's a worthless page too that we should look at. But then this is a page that's just trying to give some context to this is a list of Kias. We already have Kia Forte and all these other cars. Having links to all of these is not helpful. Why are we on a page talking about selling new Kias? We're talking about other manufacturers' models. Like that's awful. How are you paying a vendor to put other OEM names on a page that's meant to sell your new cars of your brand? And we shouldn't talk about finance because this page isn't about finance. And we shouldn't talk about used because this page is about new, not used. So, oh, this page is about used. Sorry. No. Okay, if this page is about used, back to this, we shouldn't have all of these Kia things here because this is used. And even though we're talking used, putting Chevrolet, Ford, GMC, Nissan, and Toyota in a bullet point isn't going to help you show up for those brands anyway. So bad stuff. But this links to the Kia dealer central. Wow, this bad. Whoever you're using for SEO, I would bail on them real quick because this is not helpful content. You might even be getting slightly penalized by Google for this. Let's check out the blog really quick. Lisa Kia at Kia of North Austin as a blog post with not even 200 words in it. So that's never going to rank. And as a topic title or a topic target, not great. Discover the Kia Sorento hybrid plug-in in North Austin. Again, it's not different in Austin than it is anywhere else, so you don't need the North Austin. And I guarantee you this is another, you're probably doing SEO with dealer.com because this is another like 300-word blog post where if somebody's looking for information on the 2025 Sorento plug-in hybrid, this is not enough information that's even going to get Google to rank you or an AI to mention you. So that's not going to help.
There's a question, how big should a blog be?
Great question. So the easiest way to think of content is to realize that if you want to show up when somebody types something in, whether it's to Google or to an AI model doing a search, You need a dedicated page of content on your website about that singular topic. So one topic per page, which also means one location per page. And that page needs to be the best answer in the local market to the question that you're answering. So if you're trying to say, here's information on the Kia Sorento hybrid plug-in, is 300 words enough to tell you everything you need to know about that car? Heck no, it's not. You work at a dealership. You know there's so much more to talk about than that. So how would you hope for that to rank? And somebody else for sure has written a lot more about it. They're going to outrank you. So what's the point of putting up something that's 300 words? There is not really a magic word count, because if someone was to say the magic word count is 1,500 words, there's a lot of research that's been done that's like the guys that rank number one average 1,632 words. So if then you said, okay, I need to target 1,600 words, but you can write the best answer in the local area in 850 words, you're going to add 800 words of garbage to your post to hit a magical word count. So just realize you need to write the best answer in the local area to the question that's being asked, which means you should probably answer some of the subsequent questions to push them down the path to conversion. It's going to be really hard to do anything valuable that's going to help customers and show up in Google in less than 800 to 1,000 words. And usually it's going to take more than that. And one image per page probably isn't enough. Again, Kia Sorento plug-in hybrid, I have one picture on the page.
And automotive is such a visual business.
Uncompromising performance, tech pack driving experience, nothing about exterior, interior, no pictures of the inside of the car, no picture of this car at your dealership. This is a generic stock image. Like, why would anyone care about this, human or machine? So, yeah, lots of not great stuff there. And I'm way over time.
Yeah.
If anyone has any other questions, get them into the chat really quick. I will answer any questions before we leave. But
and
otherwise,
while we're waiting for that, I'm going to bring up that QR code. So if you want to get a personal audit, go ahead and get out that phone, scan it, it'll take you right to where you need to be. And we'll give you all another minute to ask any other last questions. And I'm going to take Greg off the stage so he can rest his voice, take a drink of water, take a breath. And Greg, thank you so much for spending time with us today. I know you are a busy, busy person. And thank you again.
Happy to be here. It's always fun to do this.
All right. Well, Greg, I'm going to give you that break, taking you off the stage. Everyone, again, if you need anything at all, please reach out to SearchLab. Again, scan that QR code. You want that strategy call, that audit that we can do for you. We'd love to do that for you. I'm going to take myself off the stage now. I'm going to leave that up for one last moment. Hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.